Hey, what's up, everybody? JL the Seagull with you once again. Wow, it's been so crazy, but I feel like after last week, and making my debut like this, I'm going to begin to be able to finally have some kind of equilibrium in my life. What is there to know? What is there to go over? It's been crazy, man. It's been crazy, but at the same time, this has been absolutely nothing. I think, and this is exactly if any reaction, I would have preferred no reaction. That is even better. And this is exactly what I would have wanted, and what I want right now. Yeah, I have plugged myself into your bloodstream, and now, what's crazy is that now I have the choice. I have a choice right now to talk about anything I want to. Literally. Say whatever I want to say in this present moment. This gift from God. We live in a planet that is so rocked with fear. We live in a country, a United States, whose legacy, whose past haunts us like the present, where the bones of the elders, of honored ones, of respected ones, they cannot find rest. They can't rest. They can't sleep, they can't. They've committed things or for doing good things. This is their fate, and they're remembered in such and such way. But this is not the truth. Everything is like everything, dude. That's why there's even so many songs that are like that, and titles, and what does that mean? What does that mean anyways? So, I think as the human people, they've lost kind of sight of this, and I think what's to blame is the addiction to technology. I think the addiction to technology is serious. I'm not saying technology necessarily, but I am and will say it's the abuse of technology. the addiction to technology, which can be and is so harmful. This is a great song right here. I really like this song. What's crazy is the synchronicities recently. I've seen so many synchronicities recently. I think there was a synchronicity. There's something going on right now. I think we're going through, they've spoken of these Ragnarok, these ages, these gateways, these thresholds, these portals of time. They don't define them as in terms in themes of space. Define it as space, but rather time. And if you think about it, they said the time before our brother Isa come back to life, Jesus Christ, he come back to life. It's gonna be 7 years of absolute hell. Now, if that's now or if that's later, it doesn't matter. We're already living in it. Take a look around you. Take a look what's on the screens. What are the people's messages? But rocked with fear and aggression and anger. Yeah, it might seem like a game sometimes. Is this real life? Is this a game? Where am I? Who am I? Why am I? These are metaphysical questions, actually. And people don't study this in school. This is called the humanities. Words of philosophy. And this is all that is. I felt like, this ain't about to happen to me now. I'm not one to delete a comment, really. Because if anything I've learned in life, he who throws the first stone has already fucked himself over. These lessons, I didn't learn them overnight. I didn't learn them over even a year. I would say the only thing about me was that I stayed true to myself. I stayed true to myself. I've stayed true to myself throughout my whole life. I've stayed true to myself. Because I realized that people may tell you something, but they don't have things figured out themselves. The thing about living in this world, though, is like, this is the crazy part. if you watch The Matrix, the movie, it's a pretty good movie. There's a violent part at the end, but this is what happens, is going on in places like Palestine, in Syria, in Venezuela, Iran, and not just with bullets, but with missiles and bombs. Everybody's plugged in to something, right? Well, what's virtual reality now with VR? And the screens, the screens aren't life, but I think to a lot of people, the screen is real, and it's not. And guess what? In the Matrix, Neo finds out that what's around him isn't real, and it isn't. And that's called having a spiritual awakening. Something which they're actually absolutely terrified about, people having spiritual awakenings, because that's when they see that, their lies all don't have any more power, because they're not lies, it's their actions. That's one thing we hear is actions speak louder than words. This is universal. And when you have a spiritual awakening, you have something also that is confirmed in you, and it's called faith. Faith is the only thing that gets us to heaven, and I use that term, but to the levels beyond heaven, like to levels where I couldn't even describe. It would be overwhelming. I would be totally overwhelmed, because we can visit those places, but we can't stay in those places, living this life right now, being incarnate as human. I can't contain that. No one can. No human can. So there are powerful beings that exist in eternal realms even. And those realms are the only real ones. And these don't exist anymore. And this is called having a spiritual awakening, which is, you realize this is the truth. And talk about losing your mind. You do lose your mind. One of the things I've spoken about, and one of the things that finally became clear to me a few months ago, was that a spiritual awakening for men, an initiation, right around the teenage years, 13, 18, something like that, right? The men. Not a lot of honor amongst us men. I wish there could be more. I wish there could be more. We don't show each other any respect, any honor, any forgiveness. But amongst our tribes, amongst our people, indigenous culture, the men, the boy would go out on initiation, and he would come back a man. And it wasn't a vacation; it was a painful test. It's a painful experience. It sucks. It's pain. It pushes you to the limits of survival, but you have a direct experiences with the infinite, with that infinite here. And there's no denying it, folks. It's called faith. Oh, this is what Isa would go around. He said, let me heal you. He said, I can heal you. And, this is, incredible. So, he was an incredible person, this healer, man. I call him Isa. But, there's so much going on right now in the world, and I realize that, and that's just kind of a little bit of an introduction. So I love you guys. Catch y'all on the next one. Bye for now.